I know this video was kind of long, but I just wanted to make sure I got every single detail of how to hook up a Chuchero. There's no, I mean, there's always a wrong way how to do something, but you know, there's definitely not, I would say, a right way to do this. You know, every car enthusiast or car audio enthusiast has their own way of, you know, hooking things up. But I would say this is kind of like a traditional way of hooking up a Chuchero. Alrighty, we're at the other side of the Medusa. Now, the Medusa is sent to the back. Let's start with power. This is a distribution block. You're gonna have power, your power wire coming in through the top here. This is a fused distribution block. You always want a fused distribution block just in case whatever you're hooking up. You get a power surge or anything like that, at least it'll blow the fuse over either your crossover, your amps, or whatever you have hooked up. So always get a fused distribution block, and this one is grounded as well. So you stick your ground wire on this side and your power wire through this side, and it powers up everything, right? So from your Medusa, we're gonna find our power wires, which were the red, black, and blue, or blue's for remote. So the red, we stuck in power, black and ground somewhere. Blue would be connected to, would be daisy chain from the remote wire to this remote, to this remote, to this remote, okay? You can have your own little switch for this. You can put this on a switch. You can have your own block. You can put another block just for the remote wire to attach to the other remote. But you don't need too much current running through this. You just need a little signal just to turn these on. That clears up power to the Medusa. That gives you power to the radio and everything back here. And then obviously this you would have connected to a battery. For this setup, at least an extra battery in your car. At least one extra battery. Get this out of the way. All right. So now on the other side of the Medusa, it's going to be the same exact thing. You have one. Give me a second to untangle these again. Okay. So what we have here is the end of the Medusa, some amps, and a crossover. This is mandatory. This is mandatory. I guess, so you would have 3 amps if you wanted to do, if you want to be correct, but just for the sake of an example, I have 2 amps here and a crossover, just to explain everything a little bit better, just so no one's overwhelmed with, you know, 3-4 amps, crossovers, wires, everything. So that's why I decided just to bring out the bass amp, and this is a 4-channel, so I mean it will run Chuchero, but I would suggest, you know, get you know, an amp for your voice and then a separate amp for your tweeters. This would be perfect for tweeters, and then, you know, I have another amp for the speakers, okay? So from the Medusa, from the front of the Medusa, we had 1 and 2 for the highs, right? So we're gonna find our 1 and 2 cables on the other side of the Medusa, and we're gonna put it in the crossover. This is the input side of the crossover. This is the output side. This goes to the amplifiers. This goes from your preamps. So we said odds were red, and if you remember from the other side, 1 we stuck on red. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. Stick 1 on red, 2 on white. So that's gonna be for our tweeters. So we have 3 and 4. That's going to be for our highs, our speakers. So 3 we're gonna put on red. 4 we're gonna put on white. So for our last one, that was 4. We need 5 and 6. So 5 and 6 was for our sub. 5 and 6. Make sure that the 6 and not a 9. 5 and 6 are going to be for our sub. Sub input is the bottom. We'll put number 5 on red. Number 6 on white. That's how to connect the Medusa to the back. Now, if you already know how to connect an amplifier or car speakers, that's it. Everything else is straightforward. But if you don't, I'm going to show you anyways. So that's it for the Medusa, the radio box, the equalizers, how to get everything to the back of the car. Now you're at the back of the car, you're hooked up to the Clarion, and what do you do? From the Clarion, it's going to split the frequencies, tweeters, speakers, sub. So each one has their respective channel. You're going to take an RCA wire from the Clarion crossover. Also has a red and white, right and left. You're going to stick that in there. We said this was going to be for our tweeters. This is our tweeter amplifier. This has channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we stuck the red on the red. So we're going to stick the red on channel 1. That's the red. And then we're going to stick the black on channel 2. That's the white. From the crossover to the amp. We take another RCA. We're going to do the same thing. Red to red, black to white. This would go to your speaker amp. For this example, we'll keep it the same amp because I'm going to hook up the Speakon cable and get it all connected. So we're going to use red to red and black to black. Black to white, okay? So that takes care of voice and tweeters. We still have one more, the sub. You take your last RCA pair, same thing, red to red, black to white. On this one, you see only has 2 channels, left and right. Same thing, I'm gonna stick it on red, red, black, white. Okay? So now, your Medusa is hooked up to the crossover. The crossover is hooked up to your amplifiers. What do you do next? Well, let's start with the bass. I have the bass speaker hooked up already. So for the bass speaker, you have a plus and negative. So if you have the same colored wire, if you have 2 different color wires, that's great. If you don't, just so you remember, put tape on one of them. Tape on one of them so you know which one goes to which side. You stick that in the bass. Power, obviously power would go to the distribution block. You would have a wire for power, ground, and remote. Same way how we did to the distribution block, all going to the distribution block. Power, distribution block, power, distribution block. Now, this is your speaker and tweeters. After you have power, ground, remotes hooked up, RCAs hooked up, bass hooked up, this is the Speakon connector, which is going to go to the Chuchero. In the Chuchero box it's wired to the Speakon female connector. Okay, I'll go over that in another video, but just to keep it simple, on the Speakon connector, there's 4 pins: 1 plus, 1 negative, 2 plus, 2 negative. On this side, there's 4 pins: 1 plus, 1 negative, 2 plus, 2 negative. Just for any speakers, this has a plus and a negative. These, if you look on it, plus, negative, all the way down. When you hook your Chuchero up, you'll hook the tweeters up to either 1 and 2, 1 plus and 1 negative, or 2 plus and 2 negative. With the speakers, you'll hook it up 1 plus, 1 negative, 2 plus, and 2 negative. In respects to this, you can take this off and you also have the respective cables here. So these wires will run up here to 1 plus, 1 negative, 2 plus, 2 negative. That's how it's able to, when you put it in, that's how the connections go through. So when you hook it up to 1 plus, 1 negative, 2 plus, 2 negative, you have to keep that in mind. Remember, because here is going to be 1 plus, 1 negative, 2 plus, 2 negative. So on the other side, what do? I identify the wires. So the red and yellow wire is going to be red for speaker plus, yellow for speaker negative. The green wire will be for tweeter plus, the blue wire will be for tweeter negative. So say you have just a regular speaker amp, you have 2 amps, and you want to hook up to just the voice on that 1 amp. You know, you can strip this back a little bit, make sure not to nick the wires. So you're going to take your speaker wires and you're going to put it on a channel. Okay? Twist it up, put it on a channel. Just using this for an example. Put that on a channel, okay? Now for your tweeters, you will also put that on its separate channel to another amp, either, just for example, let's just say this is the voice amp. Oh, that popped off, it's not good. Take that out. Let's just say this is the voice amp, and this is a voice amp, and then this is the tweeter. So you can put your voice here and run your tweeters on the separate amp, okay? From there, your Speakon cable goes into the Chuchero. And that's basically it. The biggest thing is power, ground, running the remote back to the back of the car, and you have yourself a system. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know, share, like, subscribe to the channel. More, you know, car audio content, Chuchero content. If you guys want to know how to hook up different things or anything like that, just leave a comment, ask a question. So if you guys liked it, you know, comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Thanks.